Hey y'all, I'm Elisa and I am the Scrappy Wife behind scrappywife.com, and today I have a Bible journaling process for you. I am working in Adorned, the newest devotional from By the Well for God, and I'm starting off day one, Heaven's Jewel Box, and I will be journaling in Revelation and creating what I'm going to call a peekaboo page, which is going to be one page on top of another that has some peekaboo elements in it. That's the best name I could come up with for the kind of idea that I have in my head. To complete that page, I'm going to be using the jewel stamps that come in the Adorned set, and then in this extra set you can get called Fully Treasured. I'm also going to be using the watercolors that come with the kit, as well as some distressed oxide, some glitter spray, just a little bit of everything. I'm so excited about the theme of this kit, and today, as I'm working it, I'm going to be pondering this question. It says, just look around you. All the beauty you see was created for his pleasure. Note the areas in which you feel of little value or of little beauty, and speak the truth over these. You are precious. You are beautiful in God's eyes. So that's what I'm going to be focusing on as I get to work. I will put you on fast forward and we will get going. I am clearing off my desk because I'm going to do some watercoloring on a spare piece of paper. This is just mixed media marker paper. I didn't pull out the watercolor paper, but I'm going to use all of the colors from this Daniel Smith watercolor sample set that comes with the kit and start adding it across my page. I'm going to do some cooler colors on the top and warmer colors on the bottom, mixing them and blending them and just having fun with the colors, watching them mix. This is one of my new favorite things to do. It starts out looking like a bit of a hot mess. You can see the lines, you can see some of the crazy stuff that's going on, but as the watercolor starts to blend a little bit more, as I put you on super fast forward now, you'll see this is a fun way to kind of sample all of the colors. It was fun to see what the colors were going to be, how they were going to mix together, and I'm going to be able to use this to create some die cut pieces that I'm going to use for my page. And because I end up creating so many, I'm going to be able to use them throughout the rest of this project. So you see me here, I decide I'm gonna do cool and warm, because if you put too many of the colors next to each other, you're gonna end up with a muddy brown mess. And actually, I have a little bit of that happen down below. Purple is a tricky color. Purple is hard because it kind of plays on both teams, on cool and warm, and it's hard, so I add some yellow and I get some muddiness going on my paper, but that's okay. It's gonna all work out in the end. I just go with it. But it was fun to see all the different colors that were included in this kit. Okay, I'm pulling out two different stamp sets from this kit. First one is this one. This is the Adorned stamp set that comes with the main kit, and I am pulling out all of the jewel stamps that are on that particular page. And then the next one is Lavished, I believe is the name of that stamp set, and it has a bunch of jewels on this one. And I am pulling just all of the jewels out and trying to position them on my stamp block as close as I can so I can fit them all on there. This is a huge stamp block from We Are Memory Keepers. Picked it up at Hobby Lobby for some of the larger stamps that have been coming out, and I am loving it. So I'm fitting as many as I can on here, and I'm actually going to stamp it onto my watercolor art. I guess you could call this art. Kind of just look like splatters over here, but I'm going to stamp it on using the VersaFine Onyx black ink, and then I'm going to use clear embossing powder over the top. And the reason for this is I could just use the black ink and that would be fine, but because we're dealing with jewels, we're dealing with something that is sparkly and gorgeous, I wanted it to have a little bit of a sheen on those black lines. So the best way I knew to do that was to add the clear embossing powder, and you'll see me I do ink up all those stamps, stamp them down, and then immediately put the embossing powder on, and then I will repeat this process and fill up the whole page with stamped images and embossing powder. course, this is the most satisfying part of using embossing powder, and that's heating it up and watching the powder melt. You can see the lines getting darker and they have a sheen to them. They are shiny. You can't see that necessarily on camera, but it does make them pop off the page even more. I'm loving how this is turning out, and I'm so glad I filled up the entire page as much as I could, because I can tell I'm going to be using these elements a lot in this kit. Not gonna lie, fussy cutting is not my very favorite thing to do, but what I did was put on some worship music, had a great time, rocked out, and really enjoyed the process and worshiping as I was cutting. And I'm so pleased with the end result of all of these gorgeous jewels. I like the different colors. I like that they're not solid. I like that each one is unique, just like jewels and gemstones that God created all around this earth, just like He created in each of us. I am loving, loving, loving this. So super time lapse, getting all of these jewels cut out and ready to use on my entry. Now, I am planning on working in the Illustrating Bible, and this is from Dayspring. You can also pick the Illustrating Bible up at By the Well for God. Just send them a message on Etsy and they will send you a listing for that. But I cut out this piece of white cardstock to fit over the top of the Illustrating Bible page, bigger than a normal Bible, and I am tracing this kind of this tray that I found at Hobby Lobby. I found it after Lori told the creative team kind of what the theme was going to be this month, and I just loved it. I thought the Moroccan feel was super cool. It would go great to hold all my die cuts for this particular devotional, and I decided to trace it out, and I'm going to cut just to the outside of those pencil lines so that I'm getting them all cut out and there's only white left. And what I'm going to do is adhere this page on top of my Bible page and create almost like a giant pocket, a peekaboo pocket. I'm not sure what I want to call it, but I'm erasing the little pencil lines here. It's going to kind of create a border around my page and give me a place to nest some of these jewels. I don't want to leave it white. I think it's a little stark, so I am picking up some Distress Oxide ink. This is Peacock Feathers, perfectly named for this particular devotional, Adorned, because of all the peacocks that are used in the theme and in the die cuts and stamps. But I'm adding it with a cheap blush brush. This is from the dollar store, just a cheapo one that I found. It creates a really nice blended look. It's not very harsh, and I'm trying to put a little bit more color around the inside edge, and then you'll see me again come around to the outside edge and do the same thing, adding more color around the edges. Now, this is definitely one of those ideas. I have a vision in my head for what I think I want this page to turn out like. I want these jewels to just be peeking out from behind this beautiful peacock colored, I don't know what you're going to call it, this just cutout, and kind of symbolizing the jewels that God puts on this earth. And in heaven, He is our creator, and He created us, and we are adorned by Him, and He's the same creator that created the rest of the earth in heaven and adorned it with jewels, which is what it's talking about in this particular passage in Revelation. So I want the jewels to be peeking out everywhere, just looking beautiful and adorning this particular page. Now that I am done with this color, I'm going to add some gold spray. This is kind of like a gold mist spray, and it's just giving it a light sheen, drying the whole thing. So now you see the peacock blue, and then you can kind of catch glimpses of that gold spray. And I'm placing this on the page, and now I'm a little bit concerned because I'm not quite sure. I didn't think it would cover up this much text, and I usually don't mind covering up text. This is not the Bible that I study from. This is the Bible that I journal in, and I have a study Bible that I use, and I have my phone with lots of different versions of the Bible that I can reference. So I was just gonna cover it up, but then I wasn't pleased with how it looked. So I cut up part of it, and I'm just gonna use half of my piece of paper here so that I don't cover up the text, that don't cover up quite as much text as I was going to originally. I adhere this down with some liquid Tombow adhesive. I'm using the liquid because I just want to make sure I can move it around and position it in just the right way. And when you use the tape runner, you're kind of stuck with where it lands. So the liquid seemed like a better option. I'm not really pleased with that harsh line over there on the left close to the spiral. So I'm going to grab some washi tape from my stash from the Recollections collection. It has little diamonds and it says shine, which is very appropriate for the jewels in this kit. And I'm going to use that to line the edge over there. And then I'm going to start playing with my jewels. This part was super fun. I just start sticking all of these little jewels right into this big pocket that I've created. Now, when I did the adhesive on this piece of cardstock, I just did the very outside edge. So all of this that you're seeing is very easy to stick in because there's no adhesive right there. It's not stuck down to the page. I'm able to stick all of these jewels in. I know I kind of want to write around the edge, and I like that part of them, that they're partly hidden. And so you see me, I'm just sticking as many as I can, layering them up, deciding if I like it, mixing up the colors, and then I'm going to go back with my liquid adhesive and slowly but surely adhere all of these pieces down. I am so excited with how those jewels turned out, but I think that purple washi over there on the left is a little bit heavy, and I decide to balance it out. I'm going to add some darker purple washi. It's from the same Recollections collection that I got, I think around Christmas time maybe. And it's a darker purple, has some silver metallic dots on it to kind of anchor the rest of the page, frame it out, and balance out that heavy washi over there on the left. I'm going to add the edge of my title around that hexagon shape that is cut out, and I'm using the stamped alpha available from By the Well for God. I love the messy stamped look that these give, and I love the size. They turned out to be smaller than I thought they were going to be when I saw them online, and I'm so pleased with the size. So I'm going to stamp out Adorned up here in the top left, and then on the bottom right, I'm going to be stamping out Heaven and Earth. And I'm using those, I'm mixing up some of my handwriting and some of the stamping to mix it up, add some interest to my main title here. Because I don't totally trust my freehanding ability, I'm coming in with a pencil and I'm going to write out in my handwriting, I am, and then the word adorned. And then it's going to say, by the creator of heaven and earth. Just as a reminder that beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and the person that chose to behold me or chooses to behold me every day and created me from nothing is the creator of heaven and earth. And that is just an amazing thought to ponder. After I get it down in pencil and I'm pleased with the placement, I'm going to come back and trace it with my micron pen. Here I'm using the 02 size micron pen to underline the verses that I'm referencing today. And again, they're in Revelation 4, 1 through 4, describing heaven and the jeweled thrones and just all of the jewels that are referenced in heaven, as well as throughout the rest of the Bible, which is what this whole study is going to be about. There's a quote that's included in the devotional on day 1 that I want to include on my page, and nothing fancy. I'm just going to use my stamping block to draw out some lines with pencil, and then I'm going to go back and write in this quote. It says, I always thought heaven was depicted with gold and jewels because these are great value to men. But the more I study, the more I see it is full of gold and jewels because these are of great value to God. The beauty of heaven is not just for us, it is for the aesthetic pleasure of God and the Lord Jesus. And that quote was from Glenn Peace. And so I put that quote in there, and then I go back and I erase all of the pencil lines, just making sure my journaling was straight. And then I'm calling this page done. I am so excited about this devotional. I think it's going to be a great one. I think it's going to be one that you're going to want to share with other women that you love, other Christian women, just other women, reminding them just how wonderful their Creator thinks that they are. I hope you really enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please consider giving it a thumbs up and hitting that subscribe button. Otherwise, I hope you have a great day, and as always, keep it creative.